So all of the cool sites implement an infinite scrolling feature, and there's no reason ours shouldn't do either. So let's go ahead and implement this, and what we'll use is a helper package to achieve this. And what we're going to use is a package called React Infinite Scroller. So let's just open up a new tab, and please make sure you cd into the client app to do this, and we'll do an npm install React Infinite Scroller and press return. And once that's installed, let's go ahead and implement this. And the first thing we'll do is import infinite scroll from React Infinite Scroller. And we're getting a warning here, and this is going to tell us that it doesn't have a declaration file for React Infinite Scroller. So let's just see if we can get this from the definitely typed repo, and I'll just copy this into my clipboard, go back to the terminal, and I'll just paste this in. And we get success, so that's good. And then what we want to do is obviously implement this. So let's scroll down, and we're going to wrap the infinite scroll around our activity list. So I'll just add the infinite scroll, and we'll cut our activity list and paste it inside there. And what we want to do is give this some properties, and we'll give it a page start, and we'll set this equal to 0. It has a load more callback, so we'll say load more equals, and we'll just use our handle get next method. So it also has a has more property, and what we can do is set this to, and this is going to be a boolean, so we want to tell this if there's any more pages to go and get. Now we want to check that we're not loading the next batch of activities, otherwise we'll end up getting duplicates in our list. And we also want to check that our page +1, and we have to use +1 because we start our page at 0. So in order to check against our total pages, we have to add 1 to this. And then we'll check that this is less than the total pages. And we'll set the initial load equal to false because we'll stick with using our useEffects method to go and get the initial batch of activities. Now we can remove our button from here now because we won't need this anymore. And this should be all we need to do to implement this functionality. So let's go take a look. And in my activities, I can see the scroll bar on the right hand side is fairly close to the top. And if I start scrolling down, what we should find is this jumps, and we should have our next batch of activities here. And if we keep scrolling down, we'll see the scroll bar jump again, and we'll just keep on continuously loading our activities until we get to the end, which is future activity 8. So that works successfully. The only thing is that if I just refresh the page, and if I try and scroll down as quickly as possible, we just appear to get stuck whilst we're loading the additional activities. So what we can do in addition to this is just add a small loading indicator underneath our list to indicate that loading is taking place. And what we can do, I'm just going to add another grid column. In fact, I'm just going to copy this one and paste it below and set the width of this to match the grid width of the list. So this way the loading indicator will appear in the middle of the list. And all I'm going to do here is use a loader from Semantic UI React and give it an active property and set this equal to loading next and make this a self-closing component. And if we go and take a look, what we should find is that now when we scroll down we see our loading indicator at the bottom to indicate that we're loading more events or activities. And that's working just fine. And now we've got our paging implemented, what we're going to take a look at next is this part on the right hand side, which has been a static piece of text for far too long. And we're going to implement some activity filters so that a user can select between a few different options here. and we'll start to take a look at that next.